Finland and Italy. And the woman wearing red is Vilma VIITANEN. Comes to the boxing ring with a history of taking European Junior silver in 2019 at 57 kilograms in her homeland. Took national youth gold 2 years later at 64 kilograms, part of a 6-strong boxing team representing Finland. 2 women, 4 men. Vilma VIITANEN has been very impressive in Ring B en route to this final.
She has, particularly in her semi-final against Valeria W57kg of Russia. There were 3 scores of 19-19 heading into the final round, so it was all up for grabs. And VIITANEN just kept her composure really, really well. W57kg aghast and had a point deducted, and she took the win. This is Serena CHARAABI, who again had a good win against Anastasia Kowalczyk of Ukraine in her semi-final. Swaggering to the ring, looks full of confidence.
Most certainly, the 22-year-old comes to the ring as the 2020 reigning national champion. The Italian national championships held in February 2021, took that title in the 57 kilogram division. Born in Tunisia, moved to Italy at 18 months old, and she got that national title and Italian citizenship in quick succession. She's been part of the national team since 14, but here, having been granted Italian citizenship, she's competing in her first European competition with the team. It's a terrific story. And as Andy said, she's a confident character indeed. So she's just getting her equipment checked. Serena CHARAABI. What a moment for her. What a year she's looking to cap at this midpoint of 2020. National title, Italian citizenship, now going for continental gold. Vilma VIITANEN standing between her and top spot on the podium. So we're underway then. 57 kilogram action in the featherweight division, and this one between boxers from Finland and Italy. 2 southpaws facing off. You can see, looking to establish that long range is VIITANEN. Dropped down with a right hand to the body, wasn't too far away. CHARAABI content to operate off the back foot as she's slipping and sliding left and right, circumnavigating the ring, taking the long route around, but look at her step in and get to work with punches underneath and around the corner there. Very good cluster indeed as she continues to operate on that back foot. Drew the lead from her opponent wearing red, looked to counter, but neither boxer really found the range. So again, sharp left hand not too far away from CHARAABI. VIITANEN looking for her own range, but just falling short on her attempted straight punches to the torso of her opponent. Now targets the head. CHARAABI turns the tables, trying to pin VIITANEN to the ropes. And remember, this contest being contested behind closed doors, as it has been all week long in Rosetta. We're at the Pala Maghetti, and the atmosphere that is being generated here is from the teammates of the 2 boxers in the ring, and of course there'll be plenty of home support for CHARAABI. Just looking to box off the back foot and pick VIITANEN off as she advances. She worked her way through from VIITANEN's attempted clinch. VIITANEN right back onto the front foot, feinting with that front foot and lead hand. But another clinch ensues, but it's CHARAABI who is keen to work on the inside. Just beyond the midpoint of the opening round, and the pattern resumes once again. VIITANEN looking to cut off the ring. CHARAABI content to box on the perimeter. She springs out of that corner with a forward foray. Piston-like punches as she made her way back to center ring, but now she's content to operate near her own corner. She was walked onto a 2-shot combination there. Head guard was swiveled from side to side by the sharp punch picking of VIITANEN. So just over 2 minutes gone in this opening round. Increasing amounts of clinching punctuating the action. VIITANEN tried to disengage with a sneaky right hook, but couldn't quite find the mark. That flashing right hand did get through, not too solid, but it inconvenienced CHARAABI. CHARAABI still continuing to shape up nicely. She's on the back foot and shimmying side to side once again. That's a cracking southpaw left from the woman in red. It was countered by a right hook from CHARAABI. And again, it's VIITANEN who is invariably looking to make the fight. And in the minds of some judges, that is a criteria they often use if it's pretty close in terms of clean punches landed. There's a left hand, right hand combination for VIITANEN, arcing punches that both landed. Very good opening round of boxing. How'd you see that one, Andy Clark?
Well, I would shade to VIITANEN in that round. I just thought that possibly CHARAABI is a little bit too full of adrenaline. The circumstances you outlined with this being a big moment for her, and of course in front of an Italian crowd, she's really, really pumped up. The judges, though, have all gone with Serena CHARAABI. I can see it. You know, it was a close round. I just thought in the second half of it, VIITANEN managed to land the more telling blows. What she's really good at, VIITANEN, from watching her before, is that she's calm. She will stick to her boxing. She will stick to her game plan. Against W57kg, she was maybe behind in that fight, but she just stuck to what she was doing. It began to take effect. As I said, W57kg gassed towards the end, and VIITANEN got the win. So she won't panic about dropping that opening round there, VIITANEN, although I do make her unfortunate not to at least get a split there. She's just got to stick to what she's doing, and she will find out if CHARAABI can keep this going, basically.
So into the second round then. The woman in blue swept the opening round for all 5 of the scoring judges. VIITANEN immediately back on the front foot. Southpaw left just short of the range as it grazed past the chin of CHARAABI. CHARAABI looking to score with that sneaky jab. It's in and then she's on the back foot immediately, but she's not really found a range with it yet. And again, her back continues to skim the ropes. She sprung off, but then she takes a big left hand there. And while she was looking at the advertising Toblerone where she perhaps tripped, she was clipped by another punch as well. So vital that you keep your concentration on the woman in front of you who is coming forward looking to land shots with bad intentions. There's that sneaky jab again. As CHARAABI, to begin this second round, it's almost as though she's not fully committed to it. We know she possesses terrific footwork, but she's almost trying to land it, but not fully extending, and so conscious is she of avoiding the reply. So minute gone in this second round. The best shot of the round has been landed by the woman in red. It was a southpaw left. CHARAABI not too far away with her own southpaw left there. And CHARAABI's got to be careful that she doesn't get accused of being a boxer who's looking busy but not doing anything, because there's plenty of movement. She knows what she's doing. She's shaping up wonderfully, but she's not really scoring with any effective offense. And if she continues on the back foot without landing any offense, as she gets on the front foot now, well, I was going to say it could be perceived, it could be interpreted and construed as being a negative performance. So if you are a back foot boxer, on occasion you've got to hold your ground, maybe back up the front foot pressure boxer. There's a nice corkscrew right hand from CHARAABI in response to a southpaw left from VIITANEN. She has come forward once in this round, but again, with the lack of effective offense, there's an effective cluster off the ropes. She has to be careful that this doesn't wander into the performance of perceived negativity. So a clinch at centre ring before the boxers disengage. VIITANEN remaining. Oh, that's a terrific combination, ended by a southpaw right from the woman in red. CHARAABI bites down and goes for her payback, but can't find a range. She's breathing through an open mouth. She's got that loose-limbed lollygag style as she's flitting around the boxing ring. But from her perspective, I'm not sure she's doing enough effective scoring here. She's had a couple of notable bursts of activity. There's a nice southpaw right jab, but she takes a southpaw left once again, and she comes off second best in that trade-off. She tried to keep the attack going, but couldn't find a range as VIITANEN was backing up. 10-second clapper has sounded. VIITANEN with a cheeky little flicking right jab once again. CHARAABI off the mark. And as the bell sounds to conclude the second round, well, I make that a round for the woman in red.
I do as well. It wasn't too different from the opening round. I thought she dominated the first 90 seconds of it. She did have a good pocket there, about 30-40 seconds, from about a minute and a half till 2 minutes 15, something like that. CHARAABI does throw a lot. She lets her hands go a lot, but as you say, not that much of it has landed. A lot of it is kind of thrown to keep VIITANEN off her, because VIITANEN's always on the front foot looking to come forward. It's not that CHARAABI didn't have success in that round or in the first, because she did, and the judges found her way in that opening round. But VIITANEN, for me, and for you, is picking her punches that bit better and is on the front foot and just kind of looking more like the boss. But CHARAABI gets it 10-9 across the board again in round 2, and I'd imagine they will communicate that to Vilma VIITANEN. They wouldn't necessarily have told her she dropped the first round because she did well. You know, you want to just keep doing what you're doing. You don't want to panic a fighter, but they'll have to have told her now.
So we're going to the third and final round then. After 6 minutes of boxing through the 2 completed rounds, both of them have been scored unanimously in favour of Sirine CHARAABI of Italy, the woman in blue, with a commanding lead on the scorecards now, and quite simply, the woman in red needs a dominant final round. She flashes that luminous green gum shield as she goes in pursuit of her opponent. But we know that CHARAABI is a wonderful mover as she makes like a limbo dancer to slide away from that shot that came in her direction. And the qualities that has served her so well throughout this tournament. And here in rounds 1 and 2 on full display now. Because for VIITANEN, it's like trying to catch a hold of smoke. Simply can't get to grips with this slippery, wonderful mover wearing blue. And that is what she needs to do. Look at that, simply cannot close the distance, so VIITANEN's going to be advised to keep the attacks going because single shots are not going to be enough. Intelligently tied up by CHARAABI when she got into punching range. Minute gone in this second round, and VIITANEN, to her credit, is trying to quicken her feet and raise the tempo. But CHARAABI doing a terrific job using the space of the boxing ring and just keeping her opponent off kilter and off balance so she can't get to work with the heavy onslaught that she needs. CHARAABI just allowing herself to catapult off the ropes, initiating another clinch, flings her off with that right forearm, and now gets back beyond punching range once again. Managing this third round very well indeed, and now begins the showboating, not to disrespect VIITANEN, but to try to demoralize her further, as if to say, well, look, you can't catch me cleanly. We both know the context of the bout, and I am now playing to the fans here, playing to the home spectators who will be tuning in on television here in Italy. And this is going to cap a wonderful 2020 for Sirine CHARAABI, because she is not holding her feet for a second, and VIITANEN simply cannot get to grips with this wonderful mover up in the boxing ring. So inside the final minute now, I have to give VIITANEN credit. She's never stopped competing, but CHARAABI here on home soil, up on her toes and full of energy. She will have been inspired having taken the first 2 rounds. There's a stiff right jab poked out. VIITANEN continues to pour it on, continues to try to close the distance. And how about that from CHARAABI? Spinning off the line, landing with a southpaw right, and now continuing to employ that same movement of spinning away from confined positions. She has used all the space of the ring absolutely to terrific effect. And Vilma VIITANEN, well, she's tried to close the gap and get her own offense away, but CHARAABI is inspired. She's energized and keeps that movement going. She takes the southpaw left there, but VIITANEN, the more the time elapsed, the more she needed a single knockout shot, unable to find it. And there's the bell to conclude this gold medal bout, and it is going to be another gold medal for Italy. Absolutely no doubt that Sirine CHARAABI will join Giovanni Marchesi on top of the gold medal rostrum in terms of Italian gold medal winners. A very clever display in that third round to manage it and see that winning margin over the line.
Absolutely, she boxed well in that third round. That was her best round of the fight, I would say, because not only did she move well, she also picked her punches well, and there was just a little bit more composure about her. VIITANEN came at her just like she did in the first couple of rounds, but she boxed a good fight in that final round. I think VIITANEN was just unlucky not to get anything out of those first 2 rounds. They were close, I just thought she was unfortunate to get nothing from the first 2.
And there is confirmation of a unanimous point decision victory for Sirine CHARAABI. What a wonderful moment for her. The woman who just gained her Italian citizenship earlier this year. So despite being on the national team for many years, she's competing in her first continental event with the team here, and she has gone all the way through to the top of the gold medal rostrum. Sirine CHARAABI.